So hi and welcome to Paranormal Hauntings. Hope everybody's well. Look who we have here.
We found Robin Hood.
We found him, he's real. Wait for a few of you to come on. So this is one of the legendary statues. Just going to turn that off a minute. There we go. Who's coming on? Who's going to be hello? Hello. Who's going to be the first?
Hey.
Hi Susan. Who's going to be the first? Hi Vicky. Hi Nick. Hi Jane. Hi Antoinette. Hi DH. Hi Richie. Hi Pat. Hi Sam. Hi Rhonda. Hope everybody's well. If you can please give this video a thumbs up and give it a share for me. We would be extremely grateful.
Hi Karina.
Hi Deb. Hi William. So, let's just show you about where we are at the minute. Just gonna wait for a few to come in. We have got 6 places to visit. I've done all my research today.
She has as well.
I have.
I have it here.
I have some notes, so I will be extremely accurate. So let me just show you where we are. So this is the castle. We can show you a bit of the castle up close as we come round, but this is the castle walls. It is currently being renovated, so it doesn't look great at the minute. Hi Von, hi Ricky. So there is numerous statues dotted around, and as you go round there is numerous plaques that tell you about the legendary Robin Hood. So this is Robin Hood
shooting his last arrow, and that's the legend, as wherever he shot his arrow is where he was going to be buried.
Yeah. And that was that where we went before? Kirk and Leeds Way.
But there's quite a few that claim that Robin Hood's buried.
So this is Richard.
King Richard, the Lionheart, joins the hands of Maid Marian and Robin Hood. So that's when they're getting married.
And we'll go into a bit of the history in a minute. We just wanted to show you.
And that one is
These.
Robin Hood and Maid Marian. And Friar Tuck with hounds fighting Guy of Gisborne's men.
Hi everyone. Hello. And this is Robin Hood and Little John fighting on the bridge. So this was a legendary scene at Sherwood Forest.
I think that's the one I remember most from when I was a kid.
Yeah. Robin Hood, just before, if anybody don't know, no one actually knows if he was real or not. People believe there is several people that could possibly be Robin Hood. They do believe that Little John may have been a real person, and his grave is supposed to be in Hathersage, that's it. And they did dig that grave up, and there were a 7-foot man buried in there with big bones. Obviously they called him Little John because they were taking the mickey because he was actually quite big. So yeah, hi Tracy, hi Christian. I'm just wondering, is the lady on, Lucy I think her name was, that used to sleep in the caves in Nottingham? Sleep in the caves. So if those of you don't know, Nottingham is a labyrinth of caves all underneath where we are walking now, and I am going to take you to a cave. We can't get in it, but we are going to show you one that was used and the story attached to that specific one. There's thought to be about 500 of them. That's what they know. They think that they go back 1,000 years, but they also think they could go back more. People used to live in them. People use them as cellars.
They was quite often an escape route as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
The way back whens.
A lot of the homeless lived in them. It was quite often known as the paupers' caves. So they had a lot of history. I think mostly every single one of the buildings that you see on the streets probably has a cave in its cellar leading off. What did happen was when they started building and renovating Nottingham and building on top of the streets, a lot of the residents decided to ignore the fact that they had caves in the cellar. They didn't tell anyone, because if they told people, it would often mean, yeah, I'm going to do that in a minute.
Oh, say about the cave underneath. Just like a little...
I don't know if you can see, I can just get in, probably with the camera. So this is one of the original gatehouses, which dates back to the 11th century. There isn't much that is left of the original Norman castle, but this that we see now is, and some of the walls around. It backs on, you can't see, you will be able to see it once we get to another spot properly in the distance, but it currently just looks as if it's a mansion house at the minute, because it's been knocked down and rebuilt so many times over the years. I have got a map of what it used to look like in the 50th century, something that's in my collection, so Aimee's just got that, so I'll just show you that.
You see it?
Yeah. So this is something from my collection that I was passed on. So it's Nottingham Castle in the 50th century.
Obviously a lot more sprawling than it actually is today.
Yeah, it's just literally a mansion house, it looks like, to this day. So nothing greatly spectacular, is it? Yeah. So would have been fairly grand. Fairly grand. Trying to get the best shot for it, because like I say, it has got all fencing up at the minute. I might be able to get down there and just show you a peek in.
We will be doing spirit boxes and stuff on the way around.
Yeah, well there's the church that I want to do a spirit box session in. I think last off we'll do a spirit box session in one of the locations. So this over here, for those of you who don't know, but you may have heard of it, this is the park. So if you've got money and a very, very good job, this is the area you live in. It's one of the oldest parts of Nottingham, and it does get gated off. Here we go, that's a better look at the castle, isn't it? And there is a cave that sits on the park. You can't access it, not many people has actually accessed it, but I do know that it used to be used to entertain. And there is a tunnel that I may take you to later, an old Victorian tunnel, because I can go up there and go through the tunnel. So yeah, so this is the castle to its day. Do you want to just hold that while we'll just put that there, you hold the camera. We have got the tripod tonight, guys, so. Oop! Bingo! There we go. Oh, there we go. So, looks a bit different to what it looks like on my 15th century map, doesn't it? And don't look much like a castle, but it is currently an art gallery and a museum. And I believe they are going to add some of the originality back to which will be good.
I hope so, because it looks a bit modern, doesn't it?
It does, unfortunately. So yeah, it was originally built in 1086 during the archery of the King Stephen. It was destroyed and rebuilt twice. There is an instance reported in history in 1313. A band of townspeople.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just doing the history of the castle.
No problem.
Is that all right?
Make sure that you're both all right. Okay.
Yeah. We're not trying to break in.
No, it's all right.
Townspeople attacked and the major was killed. One of the rebels was captured and imprisoned here in the castle until a comrade secretly gained entrance and freed him. Many think this could have been Robin Hood. So 1313 is one of the trigger points for when Robin Hood may have been here. After a defeat of the Royalists, the castle, like so many, was slighted on the orders of the Cromwell. A fine mansion took its place between 1674 and 1679 by the Duke of Newcastle.
And that's what you can see just up there into...
No, because then it got gutted by fire in the Reform Bill riots in 1831, and it remained a ruin till 1875. So I wonder how many people used to explore that ruin
In 1875.
Yeah.
Ye old urban explorers.
We missed that time frame, didn't we? We missed that time frame. The local council, which is Nottingham City Council, they took ownership of it and then they've restored it and refurbished it. So I think it did look like this, but they've worked on what they could salvage after the fire. So yeah. But it's rife in drama and it is rife in history.
And mystery.
And is said to be thoroughly haunted. And just below there is a rock cave, and that rock cave is what we're going to go and see, because you can see it from the road. The cave is actually, because it's built from sandstones, all the caves here, and they would have used that as an in route and out route to the castle a lot over the years, and there is a story associated to that. There is another ghostly story that while King John was here, he held some 28 sons of the Welsh noble families hostage here. Some of these boys were as young as 12. They lived here for a while and was allowed time to roam and be quite free to say that they was hostages. But one day King John just decided we need to execute them.
Nice guy.
So he ordered them all to be killed, unfortunately. There was you didn't get newspapers back then, but you got people documenting stuff at this point in time, and somebody that was bear witness to that incident reported that the boys made pitiful cries. They ran round the castle one after the other, and they were taken up onto the rampart to hang in a row. So they're just one after the other. It said that their bodies would have been then flung over the castle walls. Now, the houses around this area, especially the park, as you can see just behind, oops, they have reported ghosts from the castle quite a bit. They have seen and heard children and stuff where the walls are.
Yeah.
Some have said that they've been plagued by the ghosts of the castle, and often, just which is around here, well, the entrance which is there, the gatehouse, is where normally footsteps have been heard and voices. So this particular area here is quite substantial in its actual ghost stories, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah, so we'll just take a walk down to a place we've investigated.
Ooh, yeah.
For a short stop.
I wonder if he's in.
Get your cup of tea. So if anyone's coming on, thank you for joining us.
It is a bit cold. People have been saying, are those snowflakes? And I was actually wondering, is it snowing? Is it snowing or is it just raining?
Raining, icy raining.
Will you just grab that 2 seconds while I put my glove on?
Just be careful, Aimee. We are in Nottingham Sound Centre.
What was your name? Oh, she's fucking Mary.
Just be careful, Aimee.
You're beautiful,
Nottingham Sound Centre on a Saturday night. It's not normally as quiet as this. What are you going to throw that cone at us then? So this is Friar Lane, and this is the Robin Hood experience. He's gone now, guys, so it's alright. We've investigated this place before. It's got 3 stories and a cellar at the bottom. It's got like a priest hole, hasn't it?
Well,
We think.
there's speculation to what it actually is, but to me it felt and looked like a priest hole. But you could obviously tell that at one point it was a part of the cave system.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very spooky down there. It's very good.
It is. We had some good things down there, didn't we?
We did, yeah. We started
did.
getting some.
And when we can, we will come back and we will investigate this place again. Basically, this is just an experience of Robin Hood through the rooms, but he's kind of made the mannequins to look like the ghosts that is said to haunt there, which is quite
especially
interesting.
the children as well. He sort of like sees himself as the protector.
Yeah, he's such a lovely man.
He is. He
really
very
is.
nice.
But all of these have got like priest holes with underneath the. No, 'cause I'm probably going to need it when our hands get cold. All underneath the streets. My auntie, who was a spiritualist, who I never met, she actually lived on the road behind here. We'll just take you up here, because up here is where the rope walk is, which I'll explain a little bit in a minute. And she always said that her house was haunted, I believe. Because my auntie, well, my great auntie had met her, and my great auntie's still alive, so my great auntie still tells me stories about her. But basically, she would have lived on one of these streets here. I mean, they look so different to what they look like now, and most of the houses probably aren't there like they were, but she lived on St James Street, so we're talking in this area is where she would have lived. So very interesting. The rope walk is just straight up there, and basically, if you don't know what the rope walk is, it was basically the walk that the prisoners of a well-known haunted location in Nottingham called the Galleons of Justice, a court where they sentenced many convicts over. They don't actually know how long it really has been there, but they would have took the walk from the galleries all the way up to what is known the rope walk up there to be hung. They used to follow all on a rope. That's where the rope comes in, and would have been hung, drawn and quartered, but they'd follow on a rope. A lot got hung, drawn and quartered. We are going there later, so we will show it you. I don't know. And so all there's a little plaque up there, so just go and have a look. I don't know what that says. The fine Nottingham author and poet, he wrote about the Reform riot in 1831, when a crowd of working people demanding the right to vote threw the castle afire. So he would have been like one of the main reporters of this time. You can't quite see it when we're zooming. Can you see him? Here we go.
That means above the door. It's like NPI. Is it?
Above the door. Oh yeah, number one. Number one it says. They're old lettering as well, that is. You sense a lot of old souls here. Seems to be eerie. It does. I mean, I know we're doing a ghost walk and we're not actually doing any investigating. I think so, if I'm thinking it's where it is. So we are actually in the lace market as well, and I will talk a bit about the lace market as we reach a certain building. But you never know what you're going to see. It looks very old, doesn't it?
Either that or it's built to look Tudor or other people. So we're basically on the outskirts of the castle walls, isn't it?
We are. We are walking the castle walls. You can see.
Really funny, they're little white doggies.
They look like it. Shall we go and have a look?
Yeah.
The shine a torch in. Let's have a look, shall we? What's in? What's inside?
Oh my god.
There'd have been little alleyways to the looks like it goes all the way round.
No, that is creepy.
I know.
Isn't that creepy?
Yeah, it is. Sound like a horse in boots. I've got my boots on today.
Got wheels on.
Is there another one? Let's have a look.
There's another one there.
Let's have a look at this one. Don't know why I'm whispering. Oh no, that one's blocked up. So some of them are blocked up. But look like they used to be an old lock on. Look. Yeah.
I want to get in there.
Probably.
Do you reckon if we ask that Mr. nicely?
Look at that. That bleeds right in.
Yeah.
Until it goes
It
round.
goes down as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I want to get in there so bad.
What, to investigate the castle? It actually costs £5,000 to investigate, I believe.
I feel like you can keep the castle. I just want to go underneath it.
You didn't come to Peel Street Caves, did you?
No, that was, I think that was just before I
Yeah.
joined with you, weren't it?
Yeah.
Very old way.
It is.
Very old original door.
Get over the fence, shall.
I mean,
So the
I
Castle
always
Rock.
say- the Castle Rock.
Mm.
This rock has stood here for more than 400,000 years. It's made of gritty, pebbly rock called Nottingham Castle Sandstone Formation. Unlike most sandstone, it's soft and crumbly and easy to dig out to make caves and tunnels, such as those in Castle Rock itself. In the past, caves have been used as stables, tanneries, storage for beer, and even as homes.
Behind the cottages at House Museum are man-made caves, a cave art which are accessible. Yeah. So I'm thinking that's if you've we've got a shopping centre here in Nottingham, and it's called Broadmarsh, currently being redone actually. But what happened is when they started building Broadmarsh, they discovered the cave system underneath Broadmarsh. And unfortunately, instead of protecting it and stopping building...
Door, sorry.
there is.
Door. It's almost like, because from a castle point of view, a castle is a stronghold, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't expect as many exits or entrances.
I think because where we are in a minute, I know why. So we're coming up to the trip to Jerusalem, if I can say it.
Trip to Jerusalem Inn.
Yes. And it was established in 1189. So it was played a massive part in the castle.
Probably day-to-day living.
Yeah.
If it was an inn, so it would have had people stay there, drink there. And obviously at that point in time, water wasn't really safe for them to drink, so they just used to drink ale all day long.
Yeah. So this is supposed to be the oldest pub in England. I mean, you always get that. I always find that you go everywhere and they always say, oh, it's the oldest pub. 1189. I don't know if any goes.
Some older in Wales.
Yeah, I would say there were, but they claim to be. And this place has such a history. Yes, this is your place, Noreen. This is your place. And then I used to go there as a kid. I remember going there as a kid.
We're going to have to try and get this to investigate.
Oh, we can. This is what Adam was on about, got.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we'll just pump ourselves over here and we'll just have a little sit down. Look at this old thing there.
terms of the Jerusalem, that's quite modern. It's quite a modern lamp.
Yeah.
Does it actually go into the rock face?
Yes, it's actually built from. It's actually carved out of the rock, basically. They carved it out of the sandstone. I'll just sit back here a minute. I need to see it a bit better. There we go. There we are. A little light on in there. It's amazing. So just wait for Aimee a moment. Put me back down. Aimee, you just come and grab. Come and sit here, grab this, and let me tell him a bit about it, because I've got nearly two pages to read out. If you just see up there, can you see the castle? Just here. This is the castle. So you can imagine what they did. The castle was there, the pub was there. They'd be forever. They actually had owls down into the pub, so that those living in the castle could shout down and then bring drinks up to the castle.
Perfect. Room
That's what they
service.
used to do. Ye old room service. So trip actually means stop in Old English. Stop or halt. I know that much.
Literally drop in for a pint. I like that, Anthony.
I have been in before. Nowadays, it is quite a compact, small pub. Especially, it does get really busy on a Friday and Saturday night. Quite good. We've done this in easing of lockdown, really, because you will never see it like this probably again on a Friday or Saturday night.
Yeah.
Unless you come in the middle of the night. So it was one of the favourite watering holes for the Crusaders on their way back to the Holy Land. And Richard the Lionheart is said to have stayed here on one of his brief stops in England. Yeah, much of the building is carved from the sandstone.
Can I just address? Somebody's just asked if we're going in anywhere tonight.
No.
We won't be going in anywhere tonight because we can't, but we will be doing like spirit box sessions if we
At a church, I think.
yeah, a little bit.
The weirdest thing about this, right? This is actually homed to a cursed galleon. Okay.
First what?
Galleon.
Galleon.
So they're like little ships.
Galleon.
Yes, that's it. You say it better than me. I'm shit.
A galley.
So inside the walls and the ceilings are bedecked with manner of curious objects and antiques, some which date back to the Civil War. In 1994, Patrick Deere and his wife Marilyn became managers of the pub. Marilyn has reported having many strange and weird experiences here. It does seem to be a trend with ladies here more so. Quite a few ladies that have owned it over the years have said that they've experienced things, which is quite interesting, rather than the man. There is a rock lounge, and within this lounge is a model Galleon.
Sorry.
Hanging from the ceiling. It's one of 7, and it's the biggest one that specifically is of interest. They don't dare to clean it because 3 owners have previously cleaned it before and then later died a mysterious death within 12 months of clearing it. So it's got dust and cobwebs around it for about 50 years. They ain't cleaned it for.
I don't think I would touch it either.
No, no. Marilyn has stated that the last 3 people that cleaned it are said to have died. They're thought to be parting gifts from sailors who had made them to pass the time at sea. So,
Not the Galleons.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Well, they had to do something while they were out there, didn't they?
The Rock Lounge seems to be the area where most paranormal activities occur. Reports here at the keys disappear, only to turn up later in odd places. Glasses and bottles have been known to fly off the shelves and smash off their own accord. Coming into this one.
I keep looking at that bloody window up there, you know.
I know, I thought we might get something in windows. I thought we may. Highly possible.
Shall we do a quick story about the baby while we're here?
So there's believed to have a shouting hole, which I said, which goes up to, in the cellars, to the castle. The cellar, which also is a cave, is supposed to have a horseshoe-shaped bench, which has been also cut from the rock. This was used as a cockfighting pit. It sometimes can give off a strange smell, and the smell is of tallow, what was used for burning candles. Marilyn has reported smelling this on numerous occasions at 20 minutes at a time. There's believed to be a condemned cell that comes from the castle. Many have reported feeling very oppressive in there. Men was condemned to death were shackled to the walls of the cell. Some were left to die of starvation and dehydration. People report being touched, feeling watched, things going missing, and just feeling like it's totally evil and horrible. I know a few years ago they had a charity event here, and I don't know if it was a paranormal investigator or what. I can't remember. I remember seeing it in the paper, and they had to spend 24 hours in the condemned cell, and they actually only managed 20 minutes.
Get us in there.
I know.
Get us in there.
What's it?
Sort your sense out.
So there's often sounds of glass breaking reported by the staff, but when they go to see what it is, there is actually nothing there. So that's like a replay of maybe like old fights or, you know, things like that. Lavender and rose water is often smelled throughout the old place.
The common perfumes, really.
2 soldiers have been seen in the cellar by a group of tourists once. Now, the group of tourists, there were 5 of them, and every single one of them seen the 2 soldiers. So they definitely seen something. There's possibly a haunted clock in there, and mediums have gone in and they believe it is possessed by 2 evil spirits. The previous landlady, to Marilyn, hated the clock. Her dogs would stand and stare at the clock and just continuously bark for hours on end. And another previous landlady seen a man and a woman. And one of the women is reported being seen wears a distinctive skirt. So yes,
Shall we just see if we get anything on here?
I think we might lose people.
Do you reckon? People are asking.
Do you want me to? We can if you want.
What do you guys reckon? Shall we just do like a 5 to 10 minute
Probably just a quick few.
spirit box session to see if anything comes through while we're outside? Or shall we get on with it and then... Yes, please.
Scanning.
Shall we stand just outside the walls? Let's go, let's go. Let me just... Ooh! Sorry guys, 2 seconds.
But that's twice. It's been like,
What? It's gone?
Hi.
Yeah, it sounded like it would. Hey! Hello?
So we're calling out to any spirits associated to Nottingham Castle. Why are you talking? Is that why you're talking?
Something... I thought it said fire talk.
Could have done.
I thought it
could
said
have done,
fire
yeah,
talk.
to be honest, yeah. Yeah, that sight, that woman.
Is anybody at the Jerusalem?
Yes. Can you tell us your name? What is your name?
Do you come from the castle?
I just saw there's no white noise tonight. Not a bad thing. Listening, I think that will. Can you see us? Said Nottingham, but we are in Nottingham, so I can't.
Can't say it's not a radio
No, I can't say
station.
that
It's
wasn't
just popping
radio.
up. Right. Oh, let me face you. Is there somebody in the Jerusalem right now? You will hear the church bells. Have you left us? Abandoned UK. You're not getting lost tonight, ladies.
No, we're on the ball tonight.
Hi, Pat. Is there anybody that would like to speak to us that's inside ye old trip to Jerusalem? If you do, say hello. We will leave if you don't say something. Are you from inside the castle walls? Ooh, I don't know what that was.
We seem to get responses when we hear that. Did you work for the castle?
Were you a prisoner? Down. Down again.
Was you condemned in the cellar?
And you stand in front of the main door of the pub. Where's the main door?
Lord Byron. So you might have known Lord Byron from when we went to Newstead Abbey, and also has connections to Annesley Hall. Quite influential man.
Man, being reasonable, must get drunk. The best of life is but intoxication. Good old Lord Byron. If there is anybody around right now that would like to speak to us, you need to speak now, because we are going to move on.
Show up there, Aimee. Just show how it's attached.
Hi.
Yeah. Is there a lady here? Can you come and show yourself in the windows to us? Whoever you are. We can't come into you tonight.
Can you see us? Can you see what we look like? That's a song. Oh,
Yeah?
I don't know if it, yeah, because
Maybe when we first turned it on.
yeah, it seemed as though when we were walking up to it, it
Yeah.
was like coming out with stuff. And
When it's
then-
back open, guys, we'll take a trip in and we'll take pictures inside. Hopefully we'll get to investigate it with, because Adam's offered us to come and investigate it with him, so
Bless him. Right, where's the next pit stop?
round and round.
Down and round.
We're heading round that way.
Is this Mortimer's cave?
Yes.
Ooh, we're going to Mortimer's cave. Ryan says we've froze. Have we froze? If we're frozen, can you let me know? Or no. Let me know if we've unfrozen. That's what I meant. Yeah, save the torch. Even though we have the benefit of streetlights tonight, everybody look. The benefit of streetlights. And no creepy guy around the corner in night vision goggles, which always helps.
Instead of drunk tonight, walked out with a cone.
A drunk throwing a cone at us. What is it? Oh, everybody's okay. No freezers. Although it is freezing.
This is Castle Road. Before they up.
Castle Road.
So, and the old building, that's the exchange. And then obviously that's not, but some of them.
You can tell which ones are old and which ones aren't, can't you? I mean, that looks like 1920s, 30s.
You're going to be impressed with this in a minute, guys. I know you are.
It's an excited look. Look at the face. We're going to have to do Peel Street Caves again now, if we can. Can you get a signal down there?
No.
Will I be able to get a signal down there?
Maybe. So that's the brew house yard just there. I used to go there as a kid.
Ooh, that looks pretty, look. Let's see if I can just...
This is what we're looking at. Just if we show them here, we're looking at this here.
That's the house. Yeah?
This is the cave.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see it now. Can we get round better? To a better way round. To be fair, we could get over that fence easy, but we're not going to because we're good. What's the castle? Yeah.
There.
Oh, sorry, Sean. Where is it?
That's the cave.
Oh, I see it up there, look. You see it better on camera than you do. There, look. You just see the entrance to it.
And these are passageway caves that lead straight to the castle. There is a story to why they were named like they are.
and get a little bit further round. Because there's obviously several entrances, isn't there? Like several little... Where's that? Can you remember that one of my first investigations with you when I saw my ghostly legs?
That was Rockchurch Cemetery. That's got a cave
Yeah.
under there.
Is that close by or no?
It's not too far there. Yeah, the castle. If you're just showing, the castle is just on the hedge.
So you can see that it's been clearly carved out.
I don't think we can get around that area today.
Yeah.
But normally, that is normally open when this path and this museum is normally open when COVID's not probably
Just
settled
press
down.
that down for me.
So, I believe the city of Caves do like a little mini tour with them.
Oh, hang on. It's going off here. Okay.
Look, can you see that one?
That looks good.
So it is said to be haunted by the ghost of Sir Roger Mortimer himself. So Mortimer was the Earl of March and was the lover of Queen Isabel. And it is thought that Mortimer was the Queen's accomplice in killing
Edward.
Yeah, Edward II. Their son, well, her son, took this entrance with his army on the 19th of October 1330 on a mission to gain revenge for his father's death. He came across his mum and obviously the lover, which was Mortimer, because they was actually staying in the castle grounds at the time. Basically Edward III, he got him, he imprisoned him within the castle. He then took him to London, where he was hung, drawn and quartered, and laid and hung. His body remains hung in London. This was then when the cave and the tunnel was then named after him in later years, and due to that instance. So we just come round here and show you the side a bit more.
I love it when they say that gloves are a touchscreen. They're not.
Somebody was on, I don't know if she's on the live. She might be. But obviously in later years, not really there was an idea for the homeless, and one of the ladies that commented today unfortunately said that she was homeless and she used to live in this cave, and said that she'd experienced some bits and bobs
Oh wow.
within there. But they would have been ideal, you know, they've got like a I mean, as you go underground, they've got a year-round temperature, which is quite warm, you know. So any weather, you could have stayed down in the passageways and kept warm. It would have been ideal, yet dirty. But can they see it good?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah. There's just a little house at the side of that as well. Yeah.
Where's
Shall we
next
go
on the
back up?
pit stop?
Salvation Inn.
The Salvation Inn.
Now the Salvation Inn. It's quite a sad ghost story to it, really. Of a little girl that got run over by a cart.
Oh, sorry Claire, I've only just seen your comment. Claire, she put zoom in please, and we're obviously on our way out. Because there is a slight delay. So obviously you think you're commenting at that time. Ooh.
We're going back up towards the castle, and then we'll walk down one of the streets down here, I think, as we come up, and we'll get to what is meant to be, again, one of the most haunted pubs in the UK, but then, like I say,
There's a lot of most haunted pubs in the UK.
I mean, sometimes it kind of feels like as the pub just claim that title themselves sometimes and called it that themselves, but
Maybe we should run a poll and decide once and for all what is the most haunted pub in the UK. Mind you though, sometimes things like that are often hard to determine, aren't they? Like everybody experiences things different.
At college now, Sirdifield College it was known as. See, I would say, I'm surprised these don't see more things or report more things.
Sorry Mandy, she just put Aimee every time I thought I had a good screenshot, you kept moving. Sorry, I'm trying to show you everything.
So exciting.
I promise the next place we go, I will stay still as a statue.
But there is more places in Nottingham I'd like to take you. There really is, but we could be here all night. So if you do enjoy this,
We did say we were going to do Lincoln a while back, didn't we?
yeah, if you do enjoy this, we'll do the second part on another night because
Nottingham Part 2.
everywhere in Nottingham is so spread out. It does take quite a while to walk round everything. We're just literally covering just a small corner, really. Of places.
I can't hold it with that hand because it's just doesn't
I bought the thing out.
sit the same. I mean, obviously you can tell that at one point the castle was a centrepiece for... Well, the castle was the centrepiece of a... Well, it would have been like a town or a hamlet then. When it was built. And many people think that castles are built for protection, which is in part true. But around the time
Nottingham Castle was built in 1068, I think Charles said.
Yeah.
Which was obviously just after, 2 years after the Norman conquest. So they were throwing up stone castles all over the country to mark their territory and to instill a tiny bit of fear and subjugate people into, you know, doing as they're told. What's that? Oh. Talent.
You can read better than
Okay.
In 1708 to 1711 by prisoner of war.
After the Battle of Slineham.
Somewhere in Germany.
Oh, Blenheim.
Oh,
Battle of
yeah.
Blenheim in 1704.
The
Gosh.
prisoner of war lived there then.
An old. Oh, I can hold it like that.
I'm sure I suffer with a bit of dyslexia when I'm reading things out, so you do have to apologise. Not diagnosed, but
If you ever want me to read bits, if you get a bit tired.
right. So,
Oh,
I know what I
real
mean,
children.
just don't come right. Getting all excited now.
Getting all excited now, she says.
This is the pub we need to be, but this church here,
That's a Royal Children.
yeah, that's one of the pubs, but the pub that we want to go to in a minute is that one. I just want to show you. Anyone who pick up anything with this church, because every time I pass it, I don't know why, that I feel that there's something here, and I'm not the only one to feel like that. I know that another investigator called Penny, she actually specifically come to this church because she passed it and felt she needed to come back. I don't know if there's any reports here, but
So, guys,
it is time to seek the Lord.
what do you feel? Do you feel anything at all?
I don't know, I mean, honestly, it's so close to the castle. I just think it would have been, probably would have been really important at some point, and I just think it's like kind of in the background and isn't as noticed now as much as it may have been in the past.
Well, it's your typical Norman style church, isn't it? Like, so that would, where in relation
So
to,
the castle's just over there,
yeah.
so
Come on, guys, can you sense anything about this church as we have a walk round? See if we can just walk round the circumference of it and what's down there? Oh. Yeah, let's have a walk round. It wasn't in the castle. What wasn't in the castle? Up in the bell tower area, Cheryl Stanley says.
yeah.
Yeah? What are you feeling, Cheryl, as far as the bell tower? I can sense a weird sensation on my back. Not a goosebumps, but a tension. So that's Cat. Cat butt says that. Let's see if anything changes in your senses as we walk round. If we just stay on this path bit near the think it will be alright. So, what I've got to think is, where are all the graves?
These are real.
Yeah, but...
You'd
It's...
think there'd be more, wouldn't you?
Exactly.
But they might have just, unfortunately, made the boundaries smaller, and they've just... I know that they did found skeletons on a site which is just over that way,
Right.
when they was building on. So, and I can remember them having to stop. I was only about 7, and I remember my mum saying, we was coming past on the bus and saying, they'd stopped work on that site, they found skeletons under there, and it was a few years until they restarted the work. So,
Feeling... Oh, Cheryl says... Oh, hang on, let's... Was asking if the church was in the castle. No, it won't have been in the castle. There may have been a chapel inside the castle at one point. Catbook says, Aimee, this sensation is building up. My back muscle tense up like I was punished. Feeling of eyes on you is being watched. The gravestones may have been removed, but the coffins might still be there. Peter Taylor, I can sense a black dog walking around the church with you. Wish you could get permission to go to the Galleries of Justice. It's brilliant. We are going to take a stop at the galleries tonight.
And I have investigated it 3 times, so I'll go into a bit about it as we get round there, yeah?
Yeah, Kat says it's almost like she was whipped in public.
I suppose in this area that may be something that may have happened.
Yeah. Because in the medieval period, they did often turn to the church for... Oh my God, look at that. How beautiful that is. Look. Mind you, I'd say the medieval period, probably like the Dark Ages type. The churches did dole out punishments for things like theft. I know that people were put into hot oil, like in a cauldron. What's it called? They used to call it a specific thing. Sounds like gunshots. That may have been just the construction that's going off over the way.
But these are cold as well, I mean, don't they?
Oh my gosh.
They look very...
Now, that's a haunted house if I ever saw one.
Actually looks a bit abandoned, doesn't it, really? It's not very kept, does it?
No, what's it look like at the front? It was beautiful script writing, that was. Huh?
It's got boards on. I thought it was. The no one can get in, can it? It's either that or a doss house. I don't know. Just show him. Can't see him.
No, I'm not going to show too much because...
No ghosts.
What?
No ghosts. Oh, there's a fire pit.
Hello, ghosties. Can we see him? This is where a pair of eyes come staring back.
Can't really see much then, yeah. Oh, yeah, fireplace. Fireplace.
We got in through the keyhole. Who lives in a house like this?
What ghost lives in a house like this?
This is what I mean, like.
Right, so we need to go back to this side.
It's Wayland. It's really coming down. Or Google's. Google's?
So this, I don't actually know much about this particular pub, but it actually looks fine.
Oh, it's up for lease.
Old as well, isn't it?
Maybe we could contact somebody, you know. 'Cause if it's up for lease, maybe they'll lease it out to us for a night, for an investigation.
The Royal Children. Here, it says the inn is probably one of the oldest licenses in Nottingham, and it derives its name from the period 1688 in the reign of James II, when the king's daughter, Princess Anne, and her children were resident at the castle.
Oh.
Tradition states that the royal children were entertained by the innkeeper and made playmates of his children, hence the particular name given to the inn. Of considerable interest is the curious old sign displayed in the bar, which previously hung outside the main entrance, which is the shoulder blade of a whale.
Oh.
Possibly the only sign of its kind in existence. We'll
The
have to go and see that when
The
it's
shoulder blade of a whale.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This originated in a period shortly after James II, when whale oil was introduced to take the place of candles. And this inn is stated to have been one of the first to use oil lamps. The innkeeper retailed whale oil to the inhabitants of the district and the home of the inn. Royal Children was painted on this whalebone, coupling the business of oil vendor and innkeeper, and the sign has been a feature of the house ever since.
Oh.
Very interesting.
We've got to see this whalebone sign.
We only missed that one, and now on a night out.
Maybe we should do it on a night out when lockdown's over. We'll just pop up live one night. Hello guys! We've found a whalebone. Can you imagine? Right, where are we off to next?
This one. So this is the one.
Ye old Salutation Inn. See if I can stand in road. Ooh, that's so pretty.
Stand this way, we might have a better chance.
Look at that.
Oh, you can see in now, Aimee.
Look at that.
We can see in. You can see in the bar.
I don't really like looking through people's... Is it shut down?
No, but
Is it being refurbished?
You
I
turn
don't-
the thing off, you might be able to just...
You can see anyway, like, I don't like poking it in, it feels rude. I do like that. Do you know that detail on that wood?
It might be better this side.
Pretty.
Get the old...
So. Ooh. The attic.
So again, another pub that is extremely busy on a Friday and Saturday night. Been in there a few times. Kind of a bit of a rocky bar. If you like your rock music.
I like my rock music.
So it was built in 1240. One of the ghosts is said to be of a young flower seller named Sally. Local legends say Sally was accidentally struck by a carriage in the courtyard when she was 4 or 5. She was carried down to the caves to keep her cool and comfortable for the doctor to come and see her, but she tragically died. Customers at the pub started to complain shortly after her death about being scratched. They all had 4 small scratches, as though a child had scratched them. This continued for about 2 weeks until that landlord at the time decided to take down a doll to the cave, the cellar area, and leave it there for the young girl. It said that once he did that, the scratching stopped. Landlords over the years, because I think it became a bit of a tradition, so people would then start, leaving quite a lot of dolls and teddies for her. And when it acquired new landlords who didn't believe in ghosts, they decided to remove the dolls and teddies, as you do. And one particular one reported when he removed the dolls, all his beer went overnight. So like somebody had come in and stole all his beer. There's also tales of 3 former landlords that haunt here, and funnily enough, all 3 are actually called John. One died by hanging himself upstairs, so in the upstairs area. Another accidentally poisoned himself, and another fell down the cellar stairs and broke his neck. Now, the current landlord, can you zoom in?
I'm just trying to get into that window because somebody's just said.
Is that alright?
Yeah, thank you. Oh.
So the current landlord said that he has to keep the cellar immaculate, because if he doesn't, the ghost of John, which one of the 3 landlords previously lived here, will go mad. So he will slam doors and he will throw things if the cellar is untidy. If the staff, this is dead funny. This is if he's happy with how the staff has cleaned it, once they've come back up, right, they will find a pint of beer located in the middle of the floor. And there's been no one else in at the time. And they've just occasionally found like a pint of beer just in the middle of the floor.
Ooh, Hazel Higgs. I know the people who own this pub, and loads more stuff went on. Plus, I done ghost hunts here. Oh,
Yeah.
and saw stuff and got an apple. Yeah.
It says also that staff can sometimes, if they have forgotten to shut the door of the cellar, they can shout that down to John, shut the cellar door, and the door will slam shut.
Oh, I need to get in there.
I know. See, another one out of the 2 I've never investigated, and
Can you
one that
unzoom?
one I need to do when we come back out of out of lockdown, because I'd like to encounter John.
We need to meet this John.
I need to meet John.
Where are we going now?
So we're just going around the back of it and just look. I just need your phone to
Go to what?
the sat nav to pinpoint where the gallows is from in walking distance. I know in car. Walking the street.
See if you can catch them in those windows really quick. It's really old.
They actually do very nice food, I know that.
Lovely. Yeah, I think I knew what you meant, Hazel. You're alright. It's just... Oh. That's it, apparition.
what she say? She caught an apparition down there.
Yeah, she caught. I think she saw an apparition down there.
If you just thing on there, just by I.
What do you reckon, guys? Shall we try and get here after lockdown?
I can't believe I've not done it yet. Do you know what I mean?
I think you tend to look further afield. You don't tend to look within your own hometown, do you?
No, it's weird.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll see if they'll let us have it for a night.
South on St Nicholas Street towards Helmsgate, then turn right onto Castlegate.
Okay, where we going?
So down here.
Okay.
We've got a 5-minute walk to the next place, but I might be able to tell you a bit.
Ooh, shall we just swap 2 seconds?
Yeah.
I'll swap a W.
Hold it out.
2 seconds. And then...
I reckon it's down here because the lace market's down this way.
Lace market?
Yeah, the galleries is on the lace market. We definitely need a para pub crawl. Just make sure we take Simon. What is an apparition? So, yes, Sam. Me and my mum was saying you'll have to come and join us. Yeah. My cousin Sam, who's it saying now? Down here? Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Castlegate. Yeah? Here she goes. There's also a spirit of a monk in a white robe. You hold that and I'll do it.
It's not moving. Look, it's not moving.
It might be because we're not driving. Let me put it on to walk.
Ooh! I've just turned it down, way down. Oh no, I haven't. I turned it way up. Oh, Rochelle, I feel for you and Aimee. I'm nice and warm in my bed.
Oh, it is freezing.
It's cold. It is cold, but to be honest, we don't mind. we don't mind at all.
How come yours don't come up with walk?
I don't know. Where are we wanting to get to? We are now going to the Galleries of Justice. I still think it was down that way.
I just needed to know.
We're not lost yet though.
Sure it's down here.
Oh.
We need to go.
Right, imagine. Can you imagine all 60 of us going on a ghost hunt? Do you know what? Why not?
We said this, didn't we? After
Why
that
do?
other
Yeah,
lockdown, we have to go and do.
celebrate coming out of lockdown when we can, and just all go out together. All meet up in the middle of the country.
Sorry, I've got the water. Oh, on the right track. Do it.
It looked like it meant go the other way though. Huh? Angel. Oh, hang on. Angel Aesthetics. That's where you go and get your lip injections and stuff. Actually, I've got them in my hand.
And if you have, did you experience anything? And was it just in the day or was it actually on a ghost hunt? Like they do. I've investigated it 3 times. All 3 times I've had a really, really quiet night. Said to be one of the most haunted places in the UK, but have you not? We were supposed to do Derby Jail. It's been a while since I've walked downtown, to be fair. We have got some amazing places. So that's there is just Broad Marsh, and as I was saying, under Broad Marsh is actually where the official City of Caves museum centre is, if you like. So you go in there and you grab your hard hat and you can go down into some of the caves, and it's a bit like a museum. But the caves go all underneath.
My favourite shopping in the whole world, cave cheese. Stationery.
Stationery. Yeah, the caves go all underneath the
They're obviously new, but the architecture's amazing. All around the columns.
yeah. So the lace market, as I was saying earlier, is a very old part of Nottingham. Nottingham was really famous for its lace and its net. Eh? Don't know. Don't know. Paul Smith's building. Yeah, Pendle Hill. We've been to Pendle Hill. Oh, look at Broad Marsh. Broad Marsh. I had many happy memories in Broad Marsh as a teenager. On a Saturday afternoon. We're nearly there, guys. 2 more minutes. Got it? I need a drink after all this walking.
You know what I've got in my bag?
Drinks from last time we went out, yeah.
I love York. York is one of my favourite cities in England. There's that and the fact that that's going to be old. That would have been a meeting place. Way back when. Town criers used to often stand on places like that. And news would be pinned to, you know, the Norman crosses that you see. Ooh.
There's a pub in the church. I've been in here before, the Picture in Paradise. Absolutely beautiful pub.
Picture in the Paranormal.
Which works as a church, so this is coming up.
See, I'm not sure how I feel about church conversions, either into nightclubs or pubs.
Well, it's a pub restaurant, to be fair. Very nice. Very nice scenery.
Ooh, sorry.
In there.
I'm just knocking Charlene out.
I bet that's got a few stories to tell, in all fairness. Staff's got
I used to work in a nightclub in Doncaster, and that used to be a church, and they turned it into a nightclub, and it just felt... Ugh.
So we're coming up to the galleries, it's just here on the right hand side.
The Galleries of Justice. Dun dun dun.
I just want to stop at this place first.
The police station.
Yes, the old police station. Now, when you investigate the galleries, you don't always get access to the police station. Sometimes you do. But I know the 3 times that I've been, there's been more activity in this building than there has the galleries. And I think that our Dave's got a lot of knowledge of Nottingham. So we'll have to come back out with Dave to do what we're doing. But I'm sure he said something about this building before, and he has said he's heard stories of people experiencing things. And there's one specific, I don't know if it's this one here, a corridor where a lot of people report things. And I know, like I say, teams have had more of an active night in this building than in the galleries, which is interesting.
Well, just think about all the emotion that passed through.
So the galleries of justice, because I've not wrote anything down for this, I'm just going off the back of what I know really. They believe it's always been some kind of holding place for criminals, because underneath here there is also a cave. They believe that Robin Hood may have been held here at one point, but it's been forever since records began. They know at least.
Something's been on the side.
Yeah. They used to hang. They used to, come out and they used to hang people out in the Gibbets. Is it?
Gallows.
Not gallows. Oh, what they're called? The metal cages. What are they called? There's metal cages, and they used to hang people.
Gibbets.
That's it.
Thank you, Christopher Mason.
I wasn't far off.
No, you ain't.
So yeah, there is an exercise court. There is an original table in there that was used during some of the hangings that was under.
Ooh.
That's in the main courtroom. I think it's the original table of the courtroom. And a judge is supposed to haunt the main courtroom. He's not supposed to like ladies. If you sit in the judge's chair, he's supposed to get pretty angry at you. As I say, I've done 3 nights at the Galleries of Justice and can't say particularly experienced much within, the old cells and the old courtroom. But I probably experienced more in the cave at the bottom. I'd seen anomalies down there and heard strange things while we was doing an investigation there. But as far as it goes, that's about that. So it says at the top, this county hall was erected in the year, what does that say? You might be able to zoom in for him. Do you want to zoom in for him?
So MDCC
I'll zoom in for you guys.
LXX.
One minute. And that's it. There you go, you can see.
And
So I'm assuming that was the
in
one.
the 10th year of the reign of His Majesty George III. So that's obviously this
Yeah, structure
building.
we see today.
Yeah. Do you want to zoom out?
Yeah.
But obviously there's been...
People would have been sentenced here. They would have then took the long walk to the rope walk, old on the rope, and then they would have all been hung at the gallows that was the top of the rope walk. But there was numerous gallows around Nottingham. That wasn't just the only one. Rockchurch Cemetery had another gallows outside their gates, even though it wasn't a cemetery at that point. It was just a field of windmills. I think I've said before.
Yeah.
If you've watched, and there was actually skeletons found underneath. The when they was not building the cemetery, but putting the gates down, found skeletons. Charles Rotherham being the one, but that's for another time. Another tale.
Willis Hut, is it right that Derby is the most haunted overall spot in England?
They say so, yeah. They do say so. That Derby's supposed to be one of the most haunted places in the UK, especially the Peak District, because the Peak District is so vast. The Derbyshire Peak District, but it's got myth, legends and everything. So now we're going to take a walk to what is called the Adams Building. And has anybody ever heard of the Adams Building in Nottingham? It's a 4-minute walk, so we're not got far. Straight down.
Heard Derby is much due to its watercourses. Same with Nottingham. Oh, I heard Derby is haunted much due to its watercourses.
We're not going to do
Same
that
as
one.
Nottingham.
We're going to do this one.
Oh, St Mary's?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Can we actually get in the grounds?
We can have a look. I would be surprised if you can't, but because it being town centre, maybe not. So St Mary's is the largest medieval building built in the 15th century. Now, there is actually a slave buried within this graveyard, by the name of George Africanus. But he actually became a heroic, successful man in Nottinghamshire during the 18th and 19th century. So he completely turned, from being a slave to actually becoming quite an important figure within Nottingham.
Looks like it's... But I'll just show you the building.
It's stunning.
It is, it's gorgeous.
So it's also believed that Robin Hood was once captured here, but escaped. So another spot. And it is rumoured to be haunted by a lady named Kitty Hudson, who used to earn her keep by sweeping the pews and aisles of the church. Now what she used to do, because I was reading about her, is when she'd be sweeping, she'd find pins and she'd put pins in her mouth, right? And she did this for a number of months when she was cleaning. And one day she swallowed one, and obviously become very, very ill, and actually ended up dying from swallowing a lot of pins from picking it up to sew. really. I can imagine that pins would have been quite expensive during them days, so if she found them after Sunday service or something,
Yeah.
it was all put it in your mouth like it's a, you know, a piece of straw or whatever, and make out I'm having a chew of it. But sometimes obviously used to swallow the odd occasional one and actually ended up dying from it. So yeah, she's said to haunt here. I was hoping we were able to get in, but this is where I wanted to do my spirit box session, but I can't go in. No, unfortunately. But beautiful.
It is. Gorgeous place. Really gorgeous.
So we'll make our way back over to the Adams building. So we're currently on high pavement. High pavement is quite a well-to-do street. It's got a sixth form on here, which I once attended. Studying psychology and sociology. But again, I think all these, I mean, I know they look on the outskirts, look quite new, well, modern, but I think they are all quite old. And again, probably all have the cellars and caves underneath them, which a lot of people may have blocked off over the years and just not told anyone, and it just appears to look like a cellar now. But if you was to actually knock it through, it'd probably lead to God knows where. Do you know what I mean?
It's often what you don't see. Like, it's been what, you know, like we always say, it's the land, it's what's
cost
beneath.
more to get it. It used to cost them more if they told people that it was down there. So what they try and do is just try and cover them over and make out, you know, it was just a standard space. So
Why did that Uber driver look at us like we were like... He proper stared at us out the door.
Nottingham.
He literally went out of his thing. I thought, I didn't call an Uber, don't look at me.
I don't know, it just looks a bit gothic, doesn't it? I can definitely say we've done our exercise tonight.
Aye. I've got steps in. I won't walk under scaffolding. I don't like walking under scaffolding, look at that. It's so interesting to think about how much the city's grown since 1068 when the castle was built to now.
But can you imagine what's underneath our feet? So there's that old city really
Underneath.
the feet, and basically what they did is just built on top of it. You know, and just and not really explored it. They've only explored so many of them. then what they've tried to do is get surveyors in and a new technology which can look into the ground.
Ground penetrating
Yeah,
radar.
and you can have now like virtual tours of underground via this.
Is there again, look? Uber. Mr. Uberman.
Uber guy. Bisto Live. That's a good night out as well.
Gonna have to come on a night out anyway, but everything opens. Let's all have a night out. Do I salute magpies? Yes, I do salute magpies. Absolutely. You probably thought you were crackers. Most people do. Edgar Uber.
I think this is it.
Right, is this it? Look at that. Ooh. Let's just cross over the road before.
This is where we're finishing off, guys.
This is marks the end of our tour.
And let me just tell you a little bit about this in a minute. So as I was saying, Nottingham was quite known for its lace and its net. And this is the building that it all came from. This is where it all started from. So it actually looks like more of a mansion than it does a factory. I mean, you think when we go to abandoned factories, what they look like, and
Not like this.
then look at this. You know, it was the place to work. You know, it was a bloke called Thomas Adam who owned it, and he had the idea that to look after his employees. And as you can see, it looked very grand. It had 14 departments and made all different types of lace.
What year was this?
1855 it opened. And when he did open it, they had a massive ceremony, which was something that people just didn't do back then. And people found it really, really strange that he decided to have a big ceremony, and he got criticised for it, saying that he'd made the building too grand for its use. It had a men's tea room, it had a library, it had a classroom, and it had a chapel.
Gosh.
So by 1858, 500 men worked here, making lace. So of course, with factories, there was many accidents, machines, whatnot. And over the years, factory workers have reported seeing a ghost of a lady in a long white dress. She would glide through the sewing machines and offices, but it was unknown who she was. But many had seen her, witnessed seeing her. Today, the Adams building as we've seen it is divided up into smaller and smaller units. And on the first floor is a workshop, and the ghostly apparition of a lady has been seen there several times at the reception area before disappearing, so they go to greet her and she just
Bugs off.
buggers off.
Buggers off.
Often staff report feelings of being watched. So parts of it look like it's abandoned. I mean, if you look,
Zoom in.
I mean, I
please,
think
at the
actually
windows.
now it's part of a college. It's
just
the
zoom.
It's the Adams College, so they do design and art here.
They want to zoom in at the windows. I think they want to see if they can.
We'll have a scan of the windows. So yeah, students come here now to do their A-levels in art and design. Just scanning. Anybody there that wants to show themselves? That you can see us and you know we are talking about you.
Can you come and stand in one of the windows next to the front door, please? One of the windows at either side of the front door. If you're there.
Hope that goes straight enough for you. Okay, we can have a walk back to the car because there is some still places that I can still, I say it's the end of the tour, but it's the end of my writing. I should say, because I still know bits and bobs about other places. So we'll zoom back out. If you just hold that, I can load the sat nav up to see which way we need to. I think it's down this way anyway. Hopefully we'll be able to take you to see the council house. Would you like to see the council house?
What?
The council house. Have you not ever seen a council house?
I've seen a council house, but
The council house of Nottingham.
no.
Okay, let's go to the council house.
What's the council house?
It's where you get married. It's where you get registered.
Oh,
It's
the
where-
council.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The courthouse.
Well, we call it the council house. So, council house Nottingham.
Oh,
In the old market square.
there's still. Oh, look, there's still lace market embroidery. So it still sort of lives on even to this day, doesn't
It
it?
does, but it's such a shame in a way because it just feel like
Gorgeous, but that's it. Registry office. That's what we
had-
call it.
we've had it took from us in a way because a lot of the lace went abroad, didn't it?
As people started to get more money, things got more grander, and they wanted.
Straight down. So the lace market in the pocket, this is where we are now. This is your top of the range drinking spots as well. Or this is where all the posh people go and drink.
This is where we need to come then to have a
If you
drink.
want to meet a nice rich man,
This is where we need to come to go and drink.
local author drank in this fine pub and mentions it in his novel, The Open Door. His first published novel, Saturday Night and Sunday Morning, set in Nottingham, was adapted into initially.
Once a rebel, always a rebel, and it pays to be a rebel to show 'em it don't pay to do your own.
To do you down,
To do you down.
to do you down. It's proper Nottingham slang, isn't it?
Yeah. To show 'em it don't pay to do you down.
Proper Nottingham slang, like.
Okay. Right, there we go. Straight down. Somebody had a crash on one of them scooters. Yeah, just no.
Aimee just wants to go on the scooters.
I
We could have
do.
never done this on a scooter, Aimee.
We could.
I'd have been like,
You could have talked. I could have one-handed the scooter. You know.
next time we do this, we'll do it on scooters, guys.
Yeah. Promise. Ooh, pride. Look. But, I was about to say follow the yellow brick road, but it's like it's a rainbow road. Ooh.
she was just walking home.
What?
It's Nottingham.
Why does that seem like a morbid undertone? She was just walking home.
I need a rich man, just don't tell my husband. So this is what I call, I don't know if you're interested in this, but this is what I call like, do you know when you've had a few?
Aye.
And there's one of them streets that you come up when you've had a few.
This one? This one?
It's that street that you can vaguely remember when you wake up in the morning.
The one that you're singing and dancing down at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
You can keep the man, too much stress, just give me the money. Hey, I might be off the market soon. You never know.
There is a few pubs in the centre that I know. Are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying the walk out?
Are you enjoying your little trip round Nottingham? School trip. Haunted school trip.
That is
That's our kind of pub.
That is Chris's favourite pub, and we actually, when me and Chris and Dave met up,
Yeah.
back up, this is the pub we met in, and
Oh,
it is
wow.
amazing. It's very gothic.
I hope it's still
really
open.
Got a good atmosphere.
We'll have to take them in for a drink.
You know, it's got like chains. It's very, very dungeon there.
I love how excited she got when she mentioned chains. Yeah, they're all enjoying it.
And yeah, we did ask if there was, because Chrissy was picking up things in there. And we asked if they'd experienced anything, and
I remember you saying.
they said not, but said others had. And we kind of said, you know, at some point, could we investigate?
That was a reference to the young lady murdered in London walking home. You know that she was just walking home.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh dear.
hang on.
I feel bad now.
Daryl, let's put nice ass. Hey? Well, you weren't to know. All Saints, as in the shop All Saints.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I used to love that shop when I was like 18. I think. And
Every
Zara.
town centre in England had a Primark on it. This
do?
house. Primark.
Look, there's the scooters. See? I won't point you in the direction, but as you can see, I can't get my finger on this shop.
Could have gone. I'm not walking because I won't have no feedback. Could have gone up there. Does anybody know where the Pally is in Nottingham? Has anybody ever heard of the nightclub Pally? If you have, you'll know what I mean. It's a very, very old nightclub. It used to be dance hall. And it's just further up there, but I'm not going to walk back up
Hang
there.
on, somebody's just put a comment. It seems to be like a dating site tonight. Woo! Why? Sorry, carry on.
So yeah, it used to be like you'd go and you know they used to do like dances every Friday and Saturday night, and you'd go and hopefully to meet your husband or whatnot. That's how it used to go. That used to go down. But prior to being the nightclub dance floor, it used to actually be a prison, and not many people know that. And was knocked down, and that's where the nightclub stands. And now it's not called Pally anymore. It's actually called prison. It actually took after its old roots and they named it prison. So, but again, that one is supposed to be haunted. There was a recent report with that place only a few years ago, and the staff that worked there reported, and they put on CCTV, glasses just coming straight off the bar. And I believe the haunted guys at Haunted Magazine, they went and investigated it. I don't really know what they got, but I know they went and investigated it.
It's getting a bit nippy now, isn't it?
I hate the coffee, you know.
Ah, babe. Do you want to put my gloves on for a bit? Are you sure? Oh, why has everything gone dark?
Light's still on.
Is this light still on? Maybe it's your battery. Just check your
Gone
battery.
dark for you?
Yes.
It might die. Let me just quickly show you this before it might die, guys. So this is the council house just here.
Where? Which
Here.
one? Oh.
And the famous lions on a night out. It's quite interesting that we'll get on these lions. And yeah, if you go. But if you go back, you'll see the top of it a bit better. I'll just show you that building there. That building there. It's supposed to be haunted.
Which one?
by
You're going to have to
lady.
point.
Straight forward. It's a bar.
Alright, yeah.
Very, very old. And that is supposed to be haunted by a lady. And that statue that you see there is of Brian Clough, and they've had a memorial thing there today.
Oh.
Hopefully stay on to see the top. We might be able to see the top. So you can do a ghost hunt here, guys. You can hire this out. This has stood for hundreds of years, but it did replace another building which was an exchange. So there has always been a building on this site, and I've seen like old pictures in there. There was like a battle along here. This was like a battlefield at one point. So this entire land here has got so much history to it. It's unbelievable, really. This is where they used to hold Goose Fair. If no one knows what Goose Fair is, it is a tradition that we have in Nottingham every year in October, and it's Europe's biggest